I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Give me the stimulus so I can go pay my rent. I will not be ignorant. I swear it'll be heaven sent. Give me the stimulus. Give me the stimulus. Give me the stimulus so I can go pay my rent. I will not be ignorant. I swear it'll be heaven sent. Give me the stimulus. Give me the stimulus.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to your second and third stimulus survival check stimulus package update. We have some very big news today. If you would like to know the timeline of the third stimulus package, then stick around as we'll cover exactly that. The Senate, after a marathon overnight session known as the Votorama, adopted a slew of amendments to a budget resolution that will pave the way for President Biden's $1.9 trillion virus relief package. Here now is America's favorite Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
After meeting with President Biden, where we had a discussion about how this legislation meets the needs of the American people. As our colleagues may be aware, early this morning, before 6 a.m., the Senate passed a budget bill which is identical in instruction to the bill that we sent there. We had the debate on that bill on Wednesday. It passed with a strong vote in the House and then went to the Senate. It comes back to us now, and we're addressing it. So that's what brings us to the floor now. What brings us to the floor now is the opportunity to crush the virus, to put vaccines in the arms of the American people, money in the pockets of the American people, children safely in school, people back in their jobs. We can do that following the science and good governance to make it happen. And that's what this legislation does. It gives us hope. It is a reconciliation bill, which means we can just pass it with 51 votes in the Senate. It would be my hope that we don't have to use it as a reconciliation bill, that we will be able to have bipartisanship with that facing of the facts of what is needed to meet the needs of the American people, both in this body and in the United States Senate. But in order to have a guarantee that the people's needs will be met, we're passing this legislation today. So I hope we will have a very strong vote in favor of crushing the virus, money in the pockets, people back to work, and children safely in schools. With that, Madam Speaker, I yield back.
Nancy also spoke about how different it is now, dealing with Joe Biden, instead of Donald Trump.
Here in a while. It's your first trip here in a while. How is it different today than those ones before?
Oh, my God.
And maybe have water.
Do you really have to ask? I mean, it was, as I said to the President at the beginning, as a figure of speech, people will say, I'm delighted to be here. But I know I speak for all of my colleagues when I say we are really delighted to be here for what it means to the American people. Thank you.
So, the Senate passed a budget resolution yesterday morning around 5:35 a.m., after 15 hours of debate. Some of these lawmakers are in their 80s, so don't complain about working late ever again. Passing the budget allows Congress to try to fast-track Joe Biden's stimulus bill without Republican support, during the Senate all-nighter. Vice President Kamala Harris was in the Senate chamber, in a 51-50 vote. Kamala Harris presided over the Senate and cast her first tie-breaking vote for the Schumer amendment to the virus relief budget, at 5:14 a.m., Friday morning. Check it out, and watch as she nearly reaches for her invisible gavel.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50, the Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the concurrent resolution as amended is adopted.
After her tie-breaking vote, the Vice President even took time to fix Senator Hirono's scarf. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer noted from the floor that it's been 1 month since Democrats won a pair of Senate seats in Georgia. Chuck said, just a month from that day. We have taken a giant step to begin to fulfill our promise. All of America was able to sit and with the president as he spoke with lawmakers. And here's what he had to say.
President Obama put me in charge of the Recovery Act, and it was hard as hell to get the votes for it to begin with, and then it was hard as hell to get even the number we got. But one thing we learned is, we can't do too much here. We can do too little. We can do too little and sputter. But again, the end result is, it's not just the macroeconomic impact on the economy and our ability to compete internationally. It's people's lives. Real live people are hurting. And we can fix it. And the irony of all ironies is, when we help them, we are also helping our competitive capacity through the remainder of this decade. I mean, it's real. So we got a chance to do something big here. And thank you for last night, yesterday, and what you're going to be doing in this Recovery Act. And I can hardly wait to sit down with Peter DeFazio to work on infrastructure. This is the next big piece. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
In his national press conference, Biden made it clear he's prioritizing a large relief package over bipartisanship, and that Democrats will be moving forward alone on his $1.9 trillion relief plan.
Some in Congress think we've already done enough to deal with the crisis in the country. Others think that things are getting better and we can afford to sit back and either do little or do nothing at all. That's not what I see. I see enormous pain in this country. A lot of folks out of work. A lot of folks going hungry, staring at the ceiling at night wondering, what am I going to do tomorrow? A lot of folks trying to figure out how to keep their jobs and take care of their children. A lot of folks reaching the breaking point. A lot of folks are losing hope. And I believe the American people are looking right now to their government for help, to do our job, to not let them down. So I'm going to act, and I'm going to act fast. I'd like to be doing it with the support of Republicans. I've met with Republicans. There's some really fine people who want to get something done, but they're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go. I've told both Republicans and Democrats that's my preference, to work together. But if I have to choose between getting help right now to Americans who are hurting so badly and getting bogged down in a lengthy negotiation, or compromising on a bill that's up to the crisis, that's an easy choice. I'm going to help the American people who are hurting now. That's why I'm so grateful to the House and the Senate for moving so fast on the American Rescue Plan.
President Biden said, "I'm not cutting the size of the checks. Period." He made it clear, however, shifting the qualification threshold is very much in play. Joe tried to explain how his promised $2,000 checks turned into $1,400.
The American Rescue Plan is going to keep the commitment of $2,000. $600 has already gone out. $1,400 checks to people who need it. This is money directly in people's pockets. They need it. We need to target that money, so folks making $300,000 don't get any windfall. But if you're a family that's a wage earner, each of the parents, one making 30 grand, one making 40 or 50, maybe that's a little more than, well, yeah, they need the money, and they're going to get it. And here's what I won't do. I'm not cutting the size of the checks. They're going to be $1,400, period. That's what the American people were promised.
In ending, Joseph Biden warned about the danger of not going big enough with the third stimulus package.
So, the way I see it, the biggest risk is not going too big if we go too small. We've been here before. When this nation hit the Great Recession that Barack and I inherited in 2009, I was asked to lead the effort on the Economic Recovery Act to get it passed. It was a big recovery package, roughly $800 billion. I did everything I could to get it passed, including getting 3 Republicans to change their votes and vote for it. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't quite big enough. It stemmed the crisis, but the recovery could have been faster and even bigger. Today, we need an answer that meets the challenge of this crisis, not one that falls short. And that's the issue facing the country right now. What Republicans have proposed is either to do nothing or not enough. All of a sudden, many of them have rediscovered fiscal restraint and the concern for the deficits. But don't kid yourself. This approach will come with a cost. More pain for more people for longer than it has to be. Secretary Yellen talks about the scarring effect that comes with prolonged economic pain. We see that scarring effect in economic data, but more important, we can see it in the lives of people living with long-term unemployment, living in hunger, at wits' end over how to keep their jobs, take care of their kids.
Democrats are going to approve $1,400 stimulus checks, but they're still torn on who should receive them. If you want to know the timeline of the stimulus events, here it is. Nancy Pelosi says only 2 weeks until stimulus.
Monday, we will begin working on the specifics of the bills. Hopefully, in a 2-week period of time, we'll send something over to the Senate. Right now, we have been focused like a laser on getting this done. This is about crushing the virus. It's about honoring our heroes, our people who work to get this done. It's about putting money in the pockets of the American people. In a matter of less than 2 weeks, I hope, but around that time, we hope to be able to put vaccines in people's arms, money in people's pockets, children safely in schools, and workers in their jobs. The president was his usual values-based, knowledge-informed, and strategic thinking in his presentation. It was a joy to hear his commitment to meeting the needs of the American people, open, as we all are, to bipartisanship, but nonetheless interested in getting results as soon as we can in the best possible way. And our hope would be that we would have bipartisanship. I think that having reconciliation bill is necessary so that we know that we will guarantee that we'll have results and hopefully give us some leverage with the Republicans. I hope that we can work together.
Speaker Pelosi said her hope is to send the third stimulus package to the Senate within 2 weeks. Even White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki knows whatever Nancy says goes.
Never doubt Speaker Pelosi and anything she says. That's kind of a lesson I've learned in Washington. She is a powerful and fierce force up there. We're not going to set a timeline from here. It is a bill that would be passed by Congress, of course. Speaker Pelosi is, the Speaker of the House. So certainly we would defer to her, and the president looks forward to signing the bill when it comes to his desk.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
Give me the stimulus so I can go pay my rent. I will not be ignorant. I swear it be heaven sent. Give me the stimulus. Give me the stimulus. Give me the stimulus so I can go pay my